Thank you for visiting the Digital Services Station. My name's Samantha, and in this tutorial we're going to be learning the basics of Windows 8. A few objectives we're going to cover is we're going to get familiar with the start screen. We're going to learn a little bit how to use your browser, and we're going to get to know your App Store. I have a couple rules when it comes to technology. Don't be scared to make mistakes. That's usually what keeps you from learning. So always just try your best and keep going. Don't get discouraged. And also ask questions or refer to help tutorials. Windows 8 comes with some really useful tutorials that you can always refer to if you ever, need to figure how something works or things like that. So I do recommend you give those a try. And have fun with it. Technology can be fun, even if at first you might get a little frustrated, especially if you're new to computers or things like that. Just try to have fun with it. And as I said, most important, don't be scared to make mistakes. I've had some people ask me, what's the difference between Windows 8 and Windows RT? From what I researched, there's two main differences. When it comes to Windows RT is more limited as far as installing programs. If there's, if you have a certain game or software or something that you would like to install, Windows RT does not allow that. You have to use their App Store. And that's pretty much all that it offers. And they also offer a pre-installed version of Microsoft Office, which is a really useful thing. Usually you have to pay for, a monthly subscription or it's pretty pricey, so it's really a plus that you get that for free and it's pre-installed. And then it also has a pre-installed antivirus program. So that'll help you protect your computer or tablet or your Windows 8 product. Now when it comes to Windows 8, that one does not come with a pre-installed version of Microsoft, so you're going to have to subscribe or purchase a copy if you need one. But this one, on the plus side, it allows installation of programs. So if you do have that software that you want to install, you can go ahead and go with the Windows 8. So whenever you get started for the first time with your Windows 8 computer or tablet, it will guide you through a setup process. It will require you to create a username and password. Now, I always recommend to write down your username and password and store it in a safe place. Once you start using, tablets and getting different accounts and things like that, it often gets a little confusing to remember all the passwords and usernames. So it's always good to start a list so you can kind of keep track of, what password is assigned to what program or anything like that. So once you turn on your computer, you're going to be presented to the lock screen. And it usually looks something like this, except you can always change your pictures or anything like that. Once you've created your username and password, you will see that lock screen, and you'll need to enter in the username and password you created earlier in the setup process. And you can either select enter on your keyboard or press the arrow next to your username if it's a touch screen. So once you get past your lock screen, you're going to see something that looks similar to the one I have on the screen. And on the left hand side, if you notice, I have tiles listed. And what tiles are their shortcuts to applications. And next I have the desktop tile. If you get a little intimidated by the way that this looks, you can always choose desktop, and it'll look a little more like what you're used to if you used Windows 7 or XP or a past version. So that will kind of help you a little bit if you want to just stick with the old way. There are a few differences, but at least you'll feel a little more comfortable. But I do recommend you using these tiles and the start screen to access all your programs. And then on the right hand side you have user accounts. You can create multiple accounts on your computer or tablet, and you want to make sure that your name, your account is listed right there, because if you have multiple accounts, the other person might have programs and things that you didn't want. And so you want to be sure you're in your own personal account to access, however you set up your tiles and things like that. Okay, so what are live tiles? Live tiles allow you to receive real-time updates from your start screen. You'll not have to enter an app to see your notification, which is really neat. On the left-hand side, if you notice Facebook, all you see is the blue F. No updates or anything like that, which means it's off. Now on the right-hand side, you'll see that the live tile is on. And if you notice, I have a friend, Tim Rico Jones, and he's saying, I'm learning about Windows 8. But I didn't even have to go into the app or, online. I didn't have to go to Facebook to see that there was an update because it shows me right there. So it's really a really fun thing. Now, the way to turn your live tiles on and off, you have to, if you have touchscreen, hold your finger down on it or right click on a tile and it'll bring up a bottom menu like the one that you see on the screen, and it does offer you the option to turn live tile off or turn live tile on. You can also choose to unpin a tile or your app from your start screen. You can uninstall an app and resize a tile using this menu. Usually the options it gives you is small, medium, and wide. So if you want one of your tiles to be really small and but stay on there, you can always resize it to be a little smaller, and the ones that you use you can make them wide. When it comes to pinning an app to your start screen, you must go to your full list of apps, and to get there, slide your finger from bottom of the screen to the top. Or if you're using a mouse, click the arrow on the left bottom of your screen. Then locate the app you would like to pin. So on the bottom right, you notice that I circled words with hints. So I want to go ahead and pin that. So I'm going to hold my finger down or right click if you have a mouse on the app. It'll offer you an option to pin the app to the start screen. And if you have a new app, your app list will have the word new by it. So that kind of helps you find, what you recently downloaded, and you can just add it on there. Okay, what's the charm bar? When it comes to Windows 8, this is a little different than previous versions. And it offers you different options. You have search, and that allows you, to search a computer for your program or anything like that. You have share. And say if you do have Facebook open and you want to share something on there, or you have a website open, it does offer you options to share. So go ahead and give that a try if you have certain social media accounts and things like that. And then you have start, which just takes you to your start screen. And devices. If you're interested in, printing, for example, you can be on the internet or anything, and when you're ready to print, you can click on that devices area and it'll show you the printer that you have installed. And then on the bottom right, you have settings. And that one just offers different settings, and the options that it offers are different depending on where you're at. Like, on the start screen, it'll give you stuff related to the start screen. If you're in an app or logged into an account, it often will offer you an option to, log off. So if you ever can't find that log off button, go to that settings and most likely it'll be there. And to access the charm bar, you would have to swipe your finger on the screen from right to left. Or if you have a mouse, move the arrow to the lower right hand side of the screen. Okay, so I went ahead and from the charm bar, I went ahead and, on the start screen, when I clicked on settings, it gave me the option to personalize, tile, and help. That's their help topics right there. So always remember that's where you can find it, one of the places. So personalize allows you to, modify your titles and your tiles, and if you want to put a picture on your start screen, or different ways to personalize it the way that you want it, you can always give that a try for colors and things like that. Tiles offers you an option that, say if you have a number of live tiles and for a moment you want to kind of make it look like they're turned off. You can go ahead and go to tiles, and when you push that button, it'll, make all the icons look as if the tiles are turned off. Now, if somebody were to make an update on Facebook or, an email, it will look live again. But it's just a temporary way, like say if somebody's passing by and you just don't want, them to see all the notifications, you can choose to select that. And then on the bottom, where you see Carlsbad Public Library, that will show you, who you're connected to. And say if you're at home, you would go ahead and it would probably say, wireless available. You can go ahead and you would click on that, and it would bring up all the wireless connections that are around you. And if you're at home, I do recommend you stay on your own internet connection, for a little more security. But if you were to go, to some kind of store or something that offers wireless, you would connect to their connection so you can access the internet. And then you have your volume, which is right down here. And when you click on it, then you can go ahead and adjust, if you want your volume a little louder or quiet, you can go ahead and do that there. And then you have your brightness, and that one allows you to adjust the brightness of your screen. And then you have power, and that one gives you the option, to sleep it or turn it off, things like that. And then your notifications and your keyboard. If you have a keyboard, you can go ahead and manage it there. Notifications are just whenever you're notified for things like updates. So when it comes to using your browser, Windows 8 default browser is Internet Explorer. A browser is used to search the internet. You can open your browser by selecting the icon on the start page, which is right here. Or if you're in desktop view, if I clicked right here on desktop, you would see the screen that looks similar to this, and I would go ahead and click the blue E right there. So when it comes to your browser, you're going to see a couple of options. If you look at the bottom, you're going to notice that I have my address bar, which is right there. And that's where you would type in your web address. If you are, know exactly where you want to go, like say if you want to go to Amazon.com, you could type in www.amazon.com or Walmart or anything like that, and that'll take you exactly to their page. So it'll save you a lot of problems in having to search a whole bunch of results to find what you're looking for. And then you have your refresh right down on the bottom, and that one allows you to refresh the page. If you get on a website and it looks like it just didn't load correctly, you can choose that refresh button, and that will try to get it to load the way it's supposed to. And then you have your pin, which is on the bottom, and that one allows you to pin a page to your start screen. From what I've noticed is it'll be offered when you add a page from your favorites. If you favorited something, after that you can go ahead and choose to pin it to your start screen, which makes it really convenient. So say if you like to do a lot of shopping on a certain website, if it was on your favorites, you can just pin it. So instead of going to the Internet Explorer and looking for it, all you would do is just click on that pin tile, and it'll take you straight to it. And then you have your settings. And that one offers some options to search for text on the page, which is really neat because, if there's a lot of text on there, you can actually search for a word you're looking for, and it'll, locate it all on the page. And it'll also allow you to view your browser in desktop mode. And, if you're uncomfortable with the way that this, the way that it's displayed right now, you can go ahead and do desktop view, and it'll bring up the browser as if you were using, Windows 7 or something like that. It'll look a little more, I guess, comfortable if you're new with Windows 8. And then if you, download or anything like that, you can choose to view the downloads. So it'll kind of show you, okay, well, this is what I've downloaded, and you can just pick whatever you're wanting to open. And there's a few more browser options. There's your favorites button, which usually is a star, and it'll add the website you're viewing to your list of favorites. And then you have your tab button. Whenever you want to open a new tab, you go ahead and touch that plus sign and it'll open another one. So you can shuffle back and forth between your tabs, and you know, every time you go to a website, you want to keep that one up, but you want to see something else. Or you can click on a tab and it'll open up a new one, and then you can click back and forth without losing your place. And then you have your tab view button that'll allow you to view open tabs, so you can go through and, you know, close the ones that you don't want and keep the ones that you want open. It just kind of lets you manage it. So say you do find a website that you really like that you would like to save or add to your favorites. There's a few steps. The first step is to select the star icon. If you notice on the bottom right, the yellow circle, that is where your star icon is. And then you would select the star icon with the small plus by it. And that's telling it, all right, I want to go ahead and send this to my favorites. Now if you notice right here, it automatically names it once you you know, decide to favorite it, but you can always click in the box and rename it whatever you'd like. But if you're okay with it like that, you can go ahead and you would just select add, which is right there. And then once you do that, it'll add it to your favorites. And then if you do want to pin it, well, there you go, you can choose to pin. So when it comes to your browser settings, this one is using options on, you know, through your charm bar. I'm just going to talk about a couple of them, not all of them. And the first one is appearance, and that one offers you options on how you would like your browser to display. You know, as you can see, it says always show address bar and tabs. You know, you can choose whether to turn it on or off. And then you have your history. Sometimes you don't want to, you know, remember your history or, you know, cookies, history, things like that. You can actually select that and it'll delete your previous search history, just for a little privacy. And then you have manage passwords. If you notice, whenever you log into accounts and things like that, you might be asked, you know, do you want to remember this password? If you decide to, you know, allow it to remember and later you want to say, no, I changed my mind, don't remember it, you can manage the passwords that have been saved and you can remove them if you'd like. And then you have your phone numbers, and that one is mostly for the Windows 8 phone, and that one will detect phone numbers on the site, and then you can just call it straight from there instead of having to write the number down and dialing it yourself. So it's a little more convenient that way. Okay, so as Windows 8 is, they automatically keep all windows open. If you've played 2 games and you've been on the internet, you know, it'll leave all those programs open. It does not slow down or affect your computer in any way. But if you prefer to close out all the windows, you'll need to slide your finger from left to right all the way down. You can just throw it away. You know, I would get my finger, slide it, and slide it down, and then it would close out the window. So if somebody came and they saw what tiles you had listed all on this side, you know, as you throw them away, it'll only leave the ones that you want to keep there. And you can always also just slide it, you know, from here down, but it's really fun to just go, throw it away. But if you have a mouse, you'll need to move your cursor or your arrow to the top left-hand side of the screen. And it'll bring this list right here of open windows. And you can actually right-click on the ones that you want to get rid of and select close. And you'll notice that your list gets smaller and smaller depending on how many you close. So next we're going to talk a little bit about the App Store. What is an App Store? An App Store consists of applications you can download to your device. There's 3 popular app stores you may have heard of. There's Google Play, and that one's used for Android products. There's Apple for iPads and other types of Apple products, and Windows for Windows 8 devices. You're required to use an App Store compatible with your device. If you do not, the app will not work properly or even install on your device at all. And so not all apps are available on every type of device. Say if you are interested in a certain app that you see on a friend's device, and that's one of the reasons you buy it. You want to make sure that that game or that app is available on, in the app store that's, with your device. Because if you wanted that game and, your device, say Windows 8, isn't compatible, well, you can't play it on your device. So let's take a look at the App Store. To get started with an app, you need to select the Windows icon on your start screen. And usually it'll look something like this, like one of these. Or if it's live, you might see something that has prices, try this game or things like that. And you would tap on the icon, but if you do not have a touch screen, click on it with your mouse. Okay, welcome to the App Store. Usually when you're in App Store, they try to make it really easy and user-friendly. If you notice on the right-hand side, you'll see top categories. There's games, social, entertainment, photos, and so on. And, you can always search that way, or you can search for your apps right up here. And on the bottom, if you notice, you're going to see something that says See All, and it's right there on the bottom. And it'll bring you up to some account options. And these are the account options that it shows whenever you click on that See All. And if you see right here, it's Home, and that takes you to the main page of your App Store. This one will show you apps that you have installed or ones that you haven't installed on your device, ones that shoot up to the cloud. And then you have your account. Whenever it comes to, seeing whose account is going to be charged, or if you have a Windows gift card you'd like to redeem, you would go right here and then you could redeem that gift card or, change the account. And then, of course, you have all your little categories right here that you can select from as well. Okay, my favorite, shopping. So whenever you shop, you can narrow your search by, categories, prices, relevance, things like that. Or you can use a search box if you know exactly where you want to go. So say that I looked for Words with Friends, because that's really popular with, my friends and family and things like that. So I bought this Windows 8 and I want to play Words with Friends, so I did a search, and surprise, they don't have Words with Friends app. Now I probably can play it, through my browser, but it'd be a lot more convenient through my app. But there is one called Words with Hints, so I might be interested in that. And if you notice that sometimes they're free and sometimes they cost. This one is showing me that it's $3.49 to purchase. So say if I am interested in it, it gives me the option to buy, try, and then install. So I'm going to choose to buy this. So on the right hand side, once I click buy, you're going to notice it says install, and that one will tell me, okay, on the bottom I'm agreeing to terms of use. It's going to need permission to use some features on my PC that affect my privacy and things like that. It kind of tells you what it's going to use on your device or computer. Okay, so say I went ahead and I installed it. Now I want to put it on my start screen because it didn't put it there on its own. So on the bottom you're going to see Words with Hints right down there where that yellow circle is. And so then I'm going to go ahead and go there, and then I'm going to hold my finger down or right click on the app, and then I'll get that option to pin the app to the start screen. And then, as I said, if it's a new app, it'll say new, and then you can just put it up there on that start screen. Now, one more thing before we finish up this tutorial is there was one really neat feature that I like about Windows 8. When searching your computer, all you have to do is start typing. You don't have to click on, that search option, or you don't have to, just look for a search bar or anything like that to search your computer. So all you do is just start typing, and then you'll notice that a box will come up right up here. And then I typed in a P and I was actually looking for paint. And so it started popping up because it was thinking, okay, well, that's what she's looking for. So if I wanted to pin that to my start screen, I could right click on it or hold my finger down and add it to that start screen. Especially when it comes to, your documents and things like that, you can put that to your start screen because it'll make it so much more easy or convenient to locate, in the future. All right, so I'd like to thank you for viewing this tutorial, and we will be having a few more, as time goes by, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.